Hey, folks, good morning and welcome to another episode of Steelers Morning Rush. I'm Alan Saunders. It is Friday, September 6th. The Pittsburgh Steelers play a game in 2 days when they will visit the Atlanta Falcons on Sunday to open the 2024 season. Feels like it's been forever since we had a Steelers game day. It will be 85 degrees in Pittsburgh today, significantly warmer than the last Steelers game day I was a part of when they lost in the playoffs on January 15th in Buffalo. And I think we're all ready for it to get there. I know, me personally, I'm ready for some real football to break down. I think the offseason drama has been less hinged than usual, and I'm ready. I'm ready to talk some real ball. So let's figure out together what we're going to do on Fridays here. This podcast, obviously new, and I've kind of been singular topic focused throughout its short history here. But I feel like on a game day Friday, I've got to talk about the game. And certainly we're going to talk more with Zachary Smith and Derek Bell about what I think is going to happen later. So as part of that singular focused theme, I'm just going to pick one matchup for the Steelers and the Atlanta Falcons that I think is really important to the way this game is going to play out. And I'm going to try to break it down for you guys here in the morning. I think it'll be illustrative for you guys to see if listening to me talk about one matchup, if you feel like when you watch the game on Sunday, you watch it more, you notice it more, and if you think I was right or I'm wrong at the end of it, I think that'll be a little fun thing that we can do together. So, the problem I had is I was looking at these matchups, man, and we just don't have that much information early in the season. It's really hard for me to sit here and tell you this is the matchup, this is the one, this is the only thing you need to pay attention to. This game, I feel like there are lots of important matchups. I think Grady Jarrett against the young Steelers offensive lineman is really important. I think Joey Porter Jr. against Drake London is really important. And how are they going to are they going to follow him around the field with Joey, or are they going to switch off? And does that mean Dante Jackson gets Darnell Mooney? And how does that work? Beanie Bishop in his first NFL game against a pretty good veteran slot receiver in Ray-Ray McCloud and a team that plays almost all 11 personnel. But for me, I think the one I want to point to here is Deshaun Elliott, and I'm going to say sort of et al. Against Kyle Pitts. I don't think it will be just Deshaun Elliott facing Kyle Pitts, but I think he will be getting the bulk of the duties. And I think that's an interesting matchup because I think this is the area where the Steelers defense has probably improved the most. If you look at this Steelers team, especially in defense, I think Dante Jackson's better than their other corners were last year. I think Patrick Queen is a huge improvement, and we'll talk about him as part of this as well. And obviously getting a healthy Cam Hayward would be a big, and Minkah Fitzpatrick would be a big improvement over what the Steelers got out of those guys last year. But the ability to cover slot players that play multiple positions with big bodies, I think, is the thing that the Steelers have added the most of. Little slot guys, they might struggle. We mentioned it's Beanie's first game. Ray-Ray could go off. That's very possible. But if you look at the AFC North, it is a division of big slot bodies that make the difference. The Ravens, if you watched last night's game, have Isaiah Likely and Mark Andrews. They're going to play with two tight ends all season. Likely is a really dynamic receiver. If you watch the Cleveland Browns at all, you know what David Njoku can do. You also know what Nick Chubb can do out of the backfield. Very dangerous receiver. And they put him in some of those positions as well. You think about the Bengals in the AFC North. I mean, Jermaine Burton is a big dude. He's going to be a third wide receiver. They also just added Mike Gesicki this offseason. So I think this is an important thing that the Steelers have not had really over the last couple of years. They had Terrell Edmunds, who had this job previously. But when Terrell Edmunds had it, the Steelers were very weak at linebacker. And so it was very easy to isolate him. And if you could make them pick, right? You could put the running back in a route and the tight end in a route, and you could not have Terrell Edmunds covering them both. Now, I think what the Steelers did by adding Deshaun Elliott, by adding Patrick Queen, by adding Peyton Wilson, they have significantly improved their ability to defend this specific type of matchup problem that I think starts from the San Francisco 49ers. To me, this is a 49ers problem. This is Deebo Samuel, George Kittle, and Christian McCaffrey can all do the same things as different body types. And they can either make you pick or make you declare your intentions to the offense, because most defenses do not have enough guys to cover those in multiple ways. They have one way, maybe. Most defenses don't have enough guys to cover them, period. And even if you do, most defenses only are going to have one way to make it work. I think the Steelers have more than one way to make it work. And Kyle Pitts and Bijan Robinson, now the Falcons do not have a big, tough slot receiver like a Deebo Samuel that is the third part of that equation for San Francisco that makes them so dangerous. Ray-Ray is small. Kadarius Hodge is bigger, but he's not that kind of guy. So I think this is a good test, though, especially compared to those AFC North teams for this plan. And so to me, this matchup was important, not just because of the way it's going to impact the outcome of this game, but because I think it has a lot for us to learn about the way the Steelers defense is going to hold up as it moves throughout the 2024 season, as it faces Baltimore and Cleveland specifically going forward, as it faces Kansas City when they have to play Travis Kelce and Isaiah Pacheco down the road. That's another two guys you can put in the same kind of box. And Juju works perfectly as the third part of that in Kansas City. So I think you're going to see a lot of Deshaun Elliott on Kyle Pitts. I think you'll see it in the 3 safety look. But the Falcons, I think, are going to play a lot of 11 personnel, a lot of 3 wide receivers. So I don't think the Steelers are going to be able to get into that heavy nickel a ton. I think they'll need Beanie Bishop on the field. So I think you're going to see a lot of cover 3 and cover 1 from the Steelers with Minkah as the center fielder, Elliott manned up against Pitts. But the really good thing they have is that they can put Patrick Queen over there. They can put Peyton Wilson over there. Now, those guys are going to need deep help. They can't run with Pitts down the field, but they can jam him. They can put one of those guys short, and then they can play cover 2. They can move Minkah to a half and play Elliott in the other half, and they have options here. And I think this is a really good test for the plan for athletic tight ends, for positionless pass catchers in offenses that are big-bodied guys. And I think Deshaun Elliott, man, like I remember watching him with Baltimore. He was, to me, blew my mind, really. When he got to Pittsburgh, saw him in OTA, saw him in training camp, he's so much better than I remembered. He's so much better than I realized. I think he's going to be a really impactful player. I think he's going to be like Terrell Edmonds, but maybe even a better tackler. And I think that is a huge piece of the Steelers defense that they have been missing for a very long time, really since they had Ryan Shazier. I don't think any one of those guys is replacing the full skill set of a Ryan Shazier, but I think the fact that most offenses are attacking this problem in aggregate makes replacing him in aggregate actually better. One Ryan Shazier is not as valuable as 2 or 3 guys that can all cover like this, because the offense is coming at you with 2 or 3 guys that can run routes like that, and you have to be able to match it. So that's the matchup I'm watching. Let me know what you guys think. Also, we're going to give our predictions for the game in the afternoon drive. So make sure you like, subscribe, hit that bell for notifications here on this YouTube platform. And so you don't miss an episode, subscribe to our podcast on whatever podcast feed you're listening, if it's somewhere else. And we'll see you this afternoon with Smitty and DB. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. And we'll see you next time.